Who would those five people be?
Well, I think that they would be the people that reliably adhere to the promises that they make to their voters. I'm not here to like out or dox anybody. I'll let people make their own announcements in their own time. I'm making my announcement, which is that I'm not voting for Kevin McCarthy. I'm not voting for him tomorrow. I'm not voting for him on the floor. And I am certain that there is a critical mass of people who hold my precise view. And so the sooner we can sort of dispense with the notion that Kevin's going to be speaker, then we can get to the important work.
I would not vote for him in a box. Would not vote for him with a fox. Come on, bro. Matt Gaetz there giving his unendorsed endorsement of Kevin McCarthy for Speaker of the House as they assume Republicans will take control. But this might have more to do with some control, some power that they're looking for. There's an internal struggle between him and an unlikely foe. But let's let him continue saying why he hates the idea of Kevin McCarthy taking control there as Speaker if they do take the House. Let's watch more.
The policies Kevin McCarthy has pushed, they are as unhelpful as they are unserious. His commitment to America is predicated on the notion of using federal tax dollars to go hire 200,000 more cops. You know what? In my community, we hire our own cops and pay for them out of our own tax funds. And so if in Detroit, they want to go defund the police, I don't think that Floridians should have to pay for it. Apparently Kevin McCarthy does. So it doesn't matter to McCarthy that these ideas offend federalism and belie common sense. They did well in a poll-tested survey, so they must now be doctrine, our commitment. Weren't the pollsters wrong in this last election anyway? I have spoken with many Republicans in Congress and many who will join our ranks soon. None are actually inspired by Kevin McCarthy, though many feel financially beholden to him because he is the LeBron James of special interest fundraising.
I agree. It is a little bit hard and frustrating to read off a teleprompter, but still, we got your point. The whole thing here is though, like there's this battle being drawn now. He's saying they might even like introduce someone to challenge Kevin McCarthy for the speakership, but they don't have really a viable candidate. So the idea here is to negotiate for power. Here's some details from Politico. Two of these folks in this situation said an alternative plan. They're part of this Freedom Caucus here. An alternative plan is that members threaten to throw their support behind a symbolic name like Ronald Reagan in order to get McCarthy to make concessions on their proposed rules changes that they want him to do. One of those is to strengthen the conference's ability to force a vote on deposing the speaker. So, hey Kevin, you want to be speaker? You have to agree to allow us to give us power to kick your ass out anytime we feel like it. But there's more. McCarthy called Freedom Caucus members on Wednesday to talk about their longstanding rules demands. In conversation with those lawmakers, McCarthy tried to find areas of common ground on some of their requests. That's according to Republicans. But one of those Republicans said that McCarthy made clear that those conversations that he's disinclined to empower House members to dislodge the speaker next year. He argued that it would allow Democrats to wreak havoc on the chamber. No, it would allow Republicans to kick your ass out. I mean, that's my reading of it. But first, there's another side of this whole thing. But first, Sharon, Kevin McCarthy, Matt Gaetz, Kevin McCarthy. I mean, is he gonna become speaker is the first question.
Well, why would you want to campaign to be a hostage? That is suspect in and of itself. Why would you campaign to be a hostage here? Because it's not gonna work out, okay? He should call his old friend Boehner and figure out how this thing's gonna go. It's just a matter of the timing of it. You know, Matt Gaetz, and I can see why he prefers police hired in his own backyard where his family is somebody than to have it from outside the jurisdiction. I think we know why he perhaps has that stance.
Well, I think he's, he said, we have our own. And of course, it brings up Detroit. I'm actually, I guess I'm proud of him for not bringing up Chicago. That's always the first one you go for. But they want to defund police in Detroit. Okay, whatever. It's the same talking points. But again, this is about power. Matt Gaetz wants it, so he's trying to force it this way. Marjorie Taylor Greene oddly wants it as well, but she's looking to get it through Kevin McCarthy, and she's ready for a civil war. Let's watch.
Andy Biggs is one of my dearest friends. I love him to death. Matt Gaetz, closest ally, somebody I trust all the time. All of these people that are involved in this challenge are my friends. And if, Jake Sherman wants to call it the MTG wing of the party, so be it. But I'm also willing to step out, and I know the ground. I know how it works on the inside and the outside. And we have to put someone in for speaker that is going to be elected and not allow the Democrat to pull away one or two. And I'm telling you, I've always said I'm not afraid of the civil war in the GOP. I lean into it. You want to know why? I want to do everything I can to do my part within our conference to force the Republican Party to be the party that is America first and saves this country.
The Civil War is to force the Republican Party to continue to be MAGA Republican Party. They're looking to preserve that because that's what she's based her entire political career is behind Donald Trump's ass. And she's worried that maybe Democrats might pick off a few of these centrist Republicans, whoever those are, and take it for their side in this entire vote. But we're talking about these negotiations and this battle between Satan and Beelzebub. And in reality, there's this one thing that maybe they're forgetting. This is as of yesterday, so maybe things have changed by now. Let's look at this headline here from NBC News. Partisan control of the House remains unknown with 18 races uncalled. But they're making plans. They had meetings last night, Sharon. They're wondering whether or not it should be Kevin McCarthy or Ronald Reagan that becomes speaker. Maybe it's gonna be Donald Trump, who knows? But they haven't even got control of the House yet.
They're all over the place. And for Marjorie Taylor Greene to say she leans into civil war, she couldn't even handle our public access friends. Remember that? She ran off of that. She's chasing AOC to her office and banging on the door. They're all over the place. There's this disorganization and this mafiosa type behavior that is rewarded right now in a certain wing of the Republican Party. And I really think you have to say the Republican Party. We got to start wings and factions. Whoever's in charge is who you are. There's your mirror.
And if you don't like it, you have to start pushing back, which they're beginning to a little bit. Fine.